Let me tell you a story about the Father. He's called Jehovah, indeed.
Hi everyone, my name is Moray God's Property, and I'm welcoming you to my newest series titled Stories About My Father. This is basically a countdown to my newest single titled Too Faithful to Fail. This time around I will be featuring a testimony from Sister Bolaafola, and she's basically here to tell you a story about her life, to testify to the fact that indeed Jesus, God, is a faithful God. Stay tuned.
Hello everyone, my name is Bolaafola. I'm just here to testify to the goodness of the Lord and to let you know that our God is big and is faithful, and indeed is too faithful to fail. I have something to share with you from my past. This is an experience that I went through, how God delivered me and delivered my child from death. His faithfulness is beyond description. This happened a couple of years ago, like when I got married, and after a few months I found out I was pregnant, and I was very sick. I went to the hospital, all for them to tell me that the baby was not growing, that I have to get rid of the baby. At this time of my life, I was just only 27 years old, and the doctor told me, look sister, you are young, you can still get pregnant again and have another child. But I kept praying because I knew what God showed me. I knew how God showed me the baby. God did not tell me that I was going to terminate a baby after having a wedding and get married and all that. So I just kept praying, and God assured me that I was going to have a beautiful baby. So I held on to God, and because He's a faithful God, His word came to pass in my life. And after a couple of months, I was like 5 months gone, and they booked an appointment for me to actually come back to take the baby out because the baby wasn't growing at all. So that day came, I didn't turn up. I didn't go. Just a few days later, I went into labor. By this time, I was like 26 weeks pregnant. I was admitted in the hospital. They were giving me injections, trying to prepare me because they saw that the baby was coming early, since I have refused to terminate the baby, and they were all coaching me what to do. The baby is going to be disabled. The baby might not even be able to survive and all that. But I held on to God because I know that our God is too faithful to fail. So now the baby came after a week in the hospital. Then I was 27 weeks pregnant, and the baby came out, a baby girl, beautiful, lovely, and she was so small, and she weighed 815 grams. And because the weight was so small, even the hospital I had her, they couldn't look after her. They have to transfer her to another hospital. I was alone. All by myself, and I was crying all the time. But because I know the promise of God upon my life and upon the life of my baby, I just held on to that promise because I know God is ever faithful and is ever true. And my baby was in the hospital for about 4 months. She was there, but God kept His promise. He showed up, and he showed up, and He made sure that everybody knew that He's a faithful God. And today, to the glory of God, my baby is going to be 13 years old. She's beautiful. She's lovely. Even though the doctors were telling me, there's blood in her head, she might not be able to walk, she might not be able to talk. They were even showing me how to push the oxygen here and there when I want to go out with her, how to look after her. But everything that the doctor said, God just came and just did His work. So I just give God all the glory, and I want you to look out, watch out for my beloved sister single that is coming up very soon, Too Faithful to Fail. You're going to hear the goodness of God upon her life, because these are true life stories. These are stories that God is the faithful God. They are real. So watch out for her space, Moray, God's Property.